My dear photographers, welcome back. Now we are going to talk about the C of photography, that is called ISO. In one word, ISO can be said as sensitivity. Whose sensitivity? Image sensor sensitivity towards light. So if you are shooting in the daytime, you can select an ISO of 100 or 200. You will get the best photographs. But when the light is less, light, say for example in the evenings or in the night, then you can increase your ISO so that you get the right light in your photographs. ISO is coming from the film era. Earlier photographers who used to work on films, they used to buy 100 ISO film when they have a shoot in the daytime. If they had to shoot in the evening, they used to buy 200 ISO, and if it is in the night, then they used to buy a film which is 400 ISO. What it used to do, more the ISO, the material of the film was more sensitive towards light. It used to record the photographs or record the light even at low lights. So now these cameras, they don't have any films. These are digital cameras. Now what they have is, they have a sensor, and when you increase the ISO, you force your sensor to take the image in less light also. So usually what happens is, when we are clicking our family members, say for example under one single light source, like one bulb or one tube light, their photographs usually look dark. The simple solution is increase the ISO, and then you are going to get the right image. So ISO needs to be increased only in two circumstances. One, when the light is less, then you can increase the ISO, and number two, when you have increased the shutter speed. Say for example, if you are clicking a moving subject, now you have increased the shutter speed, you have reduced the time, then you have to compensate by increasing the ISO. When you increase the ISO, you get the right shot of a moving subject. Now we will understand how the ISO is changed on a camera. This is the ISO. Now there is an ISO button over here. This is the button. When I press this button and I move this back dial, which is the shutter dial or the command dial, then you can see I am able to change the ISO. Right. Now you try to change the ISO on your camera and see if you are able to change the look or the light in your image. A lot of cameras, they have got different settings, but all we have to remember is, how do I change this setting on my camera, right? So in most of the cameras, there is a dedicated button for ISO. You can press the ISO button and move the command dial, that's a shutter dial, and you will see the ISO getting changed. In case you are using a Nikon DX body, say for example 3000 model or 5000 series, 5200 or 5300, then if you want to change the ISO, one simple trick is that you can press the I button and you can go to the sub menu and change it over there. You can select the ISO over there. But the shortcut to do that is also, there is an FN button on top of your body. FN button is usually a free button on Nikon bodies. What you have to do is just press the FN button. You can change anything that you assign to FN button. By default, most of the cameras, they will have FN button associated with ISO. So if you keep the FN button pressed and move your command dial, you will see that you are able to change the ISO. So function button or FN button is a free button on which you can assign any option that you like. But it is great to assign an ISO in case it's not there on the camera body, because ISO is something that you would need to change without going into the camera menus. So you must know how to change the ISO quickly on your camera. Now there is one great feature on most of the cameras is auto ISO. That means you can let the camera control the ISO. If the light is less, then camera is going to automatically increase the ISO so that you get the right photograph. And if the light is more, then it is going to decrease the ISO so that you get the right photograph. Now to do that, all you have to do is go to the menu, and here you will have a photo shooting menu on Nikon, and when you go into that, you will come to a point which says ISO sensitivity settings. Press OK and go under that. here you see auto ISO sensitivity control. It says off. If I turn this on, if I make this on, and I say that maximum sensitivity it can go to is this 12,800, and the minimum shutter speed is auto. Usually you can also select the shutter speed you want. I prefer 1/60th of a second and not let the camera go below than this. Now what happens is, if the light is less, camera is going to increase the, see now you see there is an auto ISO over here. So when the light is less, camera is going to go ahead and increase the ISO on its own. So it's a great feature when you are clicking say wildlife, or you're clicking weddings where there is lot of changes in the light and you don't want to keep changing the ISO all the time. You can give this control to the camera and it will do it for you automatically. But here I just want to caution you that please do not do this all the time. You should control the light first using the aperture or the shutter speed. ISO is almost like an emergency brake in the car. You should increase the ISO only when there is the need. If you give the control to your camera, the first thing camera is going to do is increase the ISO to get the right photograph. But it may have been possible to get it by changing the shutter speed or changing the aperture. You know for a fact that if you increase the ISO, there will be noise in your photographs. So we would not like to increase the ISO for no reason. We would like to increase the ISO only when we are not able to adjust the light using the aperture and shutter speed. So always keep the ISO as your last resort, the last setting that you are going to change to get the right exposure. Hope this was valuable to you.